for 12 years. His Buddhist name is Mui, and he hosts the Zen meditation group that meets here on Tuesday evenings. Carl is also involved with a local Zen center where he regularly attends meditation meetings and retreats, and where he may also be found leading meditation periods. He has also been instrumental in organizing events to bring together speakers for various Buddhist traditions to help increase their exposure in the community. Carl?
Thank you. So before I begin, I would like to express my gratitude for the Zen group that I've been hosting to have this space on our Tuesday evenings. It's been over a year now since we've been meeting here, and for that we're very grateful. So due to the strong possibility that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'd like to give you some advice that the Buddha offered in a scripture called the Kalama Sutta. First, the Buddha gives us the criterion for rejection. It is proper for you, Kalamas, to doubt, to be uncertain. Uncertainty has arisen in you about what is doubtful. Come, Kalamas, do not go upon what has been acquired by repeated hearing, nor upon tradition, nor upon rumor, nor upon what is in a scripture, nor upon surmise, nor upon an axiom, nor upon specious reasoning, nor upon a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over, nor upon another's seeming ability, nor upon the consideration, the monk is our teacher. Kalamas, when you yourselves know these things are bad, these things are blamable, these things are censured by the wise, undertaken and observed, these things lead to harm and ill. Abandon them. And then the Buddha gives us the criterion for acceptance. Come, Kalamas, do not go upon what has been acquired by repeated hearing, nor upon tradition, nor upon rumor, nor upon what is in a scripture, nor upon surmise, nor upon an axiom, nor upon specious reasoning, nor upon a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over, nor upon another's seeming ability, nor upon the consideration, the monk is our teacher. Kalamas, when you yourselves know these things are good, these things are not blamable, these things are praised by the wise, undertaken and observed, these things lead to the benefit and happiness. Enter on and abide in them. So, I got the idea for this talk when I saw a movie called Kumare. It's a documentary about an American born of a Hindu immigrant family. He remembered watching his grandma doing her devotions and the peace it seemed to bring her. But he also saw that the gurus and teachers he encountered seemed mostly disingenuous. So he made a documentary that was filmed right here in Phoenix, where he posed as a guru. He got all dressed up in robes and grew his hair long and spoke in an Indian accent like his grandma did. And I thought that he did the documentary to show that people don't need spiritual teachers. So when his disciples came to him, he would tell them, I'm a fake. What you think you need is already with you. And at the end of the movie, we find that his followers have done some really positive things with their lives. One lady lost over 70 pounds. And another young lady made a big change to her career path that brought her greater happiness. And of course, there's several other examples. While he may have thought that he was showing that a teacher wasn't necessary, I think he proved to be a good teacher, and that what a good teacher does is help us, or the student, to bring out what they were never really missing. Dogen Zenji, a great Zen master of old, often referred to a good teacher as a good spiritual friend. And this is what he said about a good spiritual friend. Even one who has the nagging manner of a wild fox may prove a good spiritual friend, for this is the countenance of one who has secured the very morrow, one who will be a spiritual guide and of benefit to you. This is someone who does not deceive others about cause and effect, and who will treat you, me, and others as spiritual equals. I like this idea that our spiritual friend is an equal. I spent some time in a fundamentalist group where the pastor was seen as God's special voice, and the man ended up dying in prison. And I've also seen Zen teachers who were held to some exalted state, and they took advantage of it in ways that were less than skillful. Our spiritual friends aren't endowed with some kind of magic. They just have more experience on the path. Not only are our good spiritual friends equals, they're also human beings. And whatever great practice they've done, they're still human, and we need to recognize that in them, and we also need to expect that they'll recognize that in themselves. What has drawn me to the Zen Buddhist path is the idea that our spiritual attainment isn't something that we learn or bring in from the outside, but more a realizing of our true nature, a nature that has never left us and that connects us all in this interdependent web of existence. There's a Zen koan where the Zen master tells his audience, in all of China, there are no Zen teachers. And so our good spiritual friend knows that ultimately she has nothing to give us because we already lack nothing. And so her job is to help us to see through the delusion that we are somehow lacking, and sometimes this means pulling the rug out from under us and putting the work of liberation back on ourselves. I want to share one of the classic Zen koans with you. This koan reveals an interaction with the Zen master and one of his disciples. A koan is often defined as a paradoxical or nonsensical question that defies a logical answer. But in the Zen world, we see the koan as an expression of ultimate reality. And to answer the koan is to manifest or actualize that reality. This is case 55 of the Blue Cliff Record. It's a famous collection of Zen koans, and I think it touches on our subject today. Dogo's I Would Not Tell You. Engo's Introduction. Absolute truth, direct enlightenment, positive activity, immediate understanding, quick as sparks and lightning. He cuts through the complications. Sitting on a tiger's head and grasping its tail, he is still like a 1,000-foot cliff. Be that as it may, is there any case for giving a clue for others' sake? See the following. Main subject. One day, Dogo, accompanied by his disciple Zengen, went to visit a family in which a funeral was to take place in order to express sympathy. Zengen touched the coffin and said, "Please tell me, is this life or is this death?" Zengen said, Dogo said, "I would not tell you whether it is life or it is death." Zengen said, "Why don't you tell me?" Dogo said, "No, I would not tell you." On their way home, Zengen said, "Osho." Osho is a upper-ranking Zen person. Osho. On the way home, Zengen said, "Osho, please be kind enough to tell me. If not, I will hit you." Dogo said, "Strike me if you like, but I would not tell you." Zengen struck Dogo. Later, Dogo passed away. Zengen came to Sekeso and told him the whole story. Sekeso was the person who took over after Dogo died. Sekeso said, "I would not tell you whether it is life or it is death." Zengen said, "Why don't you tell me?" Sekeso said, "No, I would not tell you." Upon these words, Zengen attained sudden realization. One day, Zengen, carrying a hoe, went up and down the lecture hall, as if he were searching for something. Sekeso said, "What are you doing?" Zengen said, "I am searching for the spiritual remains of our dead teacher." Sekeso said, "Limitless expanse of mighty roaring waves. Foaming waves wash the sky. What relic of the deceased teacher do you seek?" Sekeso says, "Alas, alas." Zengen said, "This is the way of acquiring strength." Taigen Fu said the deceased teacher's spiritual remains still exist. Secho's verse, "Hares and horses have horns, cows and goats have none. It is quite infinitesimal. It piles up mountain high. The golden relic still exists. It still exists now. Foaming waves wash the sky. Where can you put it? No, nowhere. The single sandal returned to India and is lost forever." The single sandal refers to a story about the first ancestor of Zen in China who had said that after he died, someone seen him walking back to India carrying one shoe, and so they went back and dug up his grave, and all they found in the grave was one sandal. So, anyways, that's an example of a Zen koan. So, the Dalai Lama said that he considered everyone he met, starting with his enemies, to be his teacher. And so we see that every encounter we have is an opportunity for growth on our path. And we never know where we might find our good spiritual friend. But there's another side to this that I see. Maybe we'll run into the Dalai Lama, and what would that make us? Okay, maybe we won't meet the Dalai Lama. But the potential exists that we may be in this position of the good spiritual friend. Joshu, a great master who came to Zen at the age of 60 and lived to be 120, went on a pilgrimage at the age of 80. And he said that if he met a child of 7 with something to teach, he would learn from them. And if he met someone of 100 and he had something to offer, he would teach them. So we need to be mindful that in our daily interactions, we may be that teacher. And as a congregation here without a pastor, that need will manifest for us in other ways. The 6th patriarch of Zen said, when he teaches people of lesser spiritual inclination, he just teaches them to be good people. So we don't always need to be teaching some deep doctrine. As I see it, the true teacher is our friend and equal. Maybe we don't interact with them in the same way that we do with our other friends. But as friends, they also grow and have a certain fulfillment from the relationship. They understand that they have nothing to give us that we don't already have, and find ways to get us to open to what's true in us. Sometimes what we need doesn't always feel good. And a feel-good religion is all we're getting. Maybe it really isn't good. Though sometimes what we need and what our friend may bring us is encouragement. At other times, we may need a good figurative kick in the rear. In the old Zen stories, we hear of masters hitting their disciples. While this might not be appropriate in today's world, this is what Master Rinzai, the namesake of one of the main Zen schools, said of his teacher. As for me, I spent 20 years with my late master Robaku. 3 times I asked him on the essence of Buddhism, and 3 times he kindly beat me. It was as if he had caressed me with a branch of fragrant sage. As one online journalist said so well, keep in mind that the spiritual path goes through our wounds, not around them or away from them. Don't let discomfort hold you back. So I hope that I said something useful for you, and that you all find good spiritual friends, and that also, as the need arises, that you may be that friend. Not because there's something we're missing, but because there's something wonderful that we have, something vast and free. It's always been there, and we just need to be open to it. At the end of the day, it's not about what some great teacher did or said, but what we did with what is already ours, and that the work belongs to us as well as the rewards. So thank you, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you, Carl. Please stand as you are willing and able and join in the singing of today's closing hymn, number 184, Be Ye Lamps Unto Yourselves. We'll sing it through twice. And please join me in the unison reading of West Valley UU Church's mission statement. This church provides a safe place to celebrate diversity, draw inspiration for our lives, foster social and environmental justice, and compassionately support each other in our spiritual searches. Go now in peace, and may the spirit of love surround you everywhere you go. Yoey, Fern, Julie, and Lon, join me in the front of the church, please. And anyone else who may have decided to sign the book.